Lalita Saki, and we will go through her Astakam during the next hour or so. But to begin with, we'll sing bhajan for Krishna and for Radha. Lalita Saki is so much dedicating her entire existence to her service to Madhav and Radharani. So I think she will be pleased with singing Krishna De Bhagavan Tamavande and Radhe Jai Jai Madhava Dayate. So we'll sing that first, and then we'll go through the Astakam afterwards. Krishna Deva Bhavantam Bande, Krishna Deva Bhavantam Bande, Krishna Deva Bhavantam Bande,
Krishna Deva Bhavantam Bande,
Amana Mahana Samadhukaram Advaya Nijapada Ankajam Karande,
Manamana Samadhukaram Ataya Nijapada Pankaja
Krishna Deva Bhavantam Bande,
Krishna Deva Bhavantam Bande,
Yadi api samadhishu vidya api pashyati Nakava nakagamarichi Yadi api samadhishu vidya api pashyati Nakava nakagamarichi Idame chami nishyamya kavachuta Tarapi kripa tuta vechem Idame chami nishyamya kavachuta Tarapi kripa tuta vechem O Krishna Deva Bhavantam Bande, Krishna Deva Bhavantam Bande, Krishna Deva Bhavantam Bande, Krishna Deva Bhavantam Bande. Bhakti Udam Satyadi Api Madhava Nakwai Mama Tula Matri. Bhakti Udam Satyadi Api Madhava Nakwai Mama Tula Matri. Parameshwara Tata Davita Bhagika Durga Pagatana Durgati. Parameshwara Tata Davita Bhagika Durga Pagatana Durgati. O Krishna Deva Bhavantam Bande, Deva Bhavantam Bande, Krishna Deva Bhavantam Bande,
Krishna Deva Bhavantam
Ayam avilo yataya yatsanatana Lalita bhuta rasabara. Ayam avilo yataya yatsanatana Lalita bhuta rasabara. Nivasatu nityami hamrita nindini Vidan madhuri masara. Vasatu nityami hamrita nindini Vidan madhuri masara. Krishna Deva Bhavantam Bande, Krishna Deva Bhavantam Bande, Krishna Deva Bhavantam Bande, Krishna Deva Bhavantam Bande. Amana Mahana Samadhukaram Arvaya Nijapada Ankajaha Makarande. Mana Mahana Samadhukaram Arvaya Nijapada Ankajaha Makarande. O Krishna Deva Bhavantam Bande, Deva Bhavantam Bande. O Krishna Deva Bhavantam Bande, Krishna Deva Bhavantam. O Krishna Hey, 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 Krishna Hey. O Prabhu Hey, 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 Prabhu Hey. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Radhe
Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Radhe.
O Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava
Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite.
Gokulacharuni Mandala Mahite.
Gokulacharuni Mandala Mahite.
Gokulacharuni Mandala Mahite.
Gokulacharuni
Mandala Mahite. Oh Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava
Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava.
Radhe Jaya Jaya
Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava.
Damodara Rati Vardhana Veshe Hari Nishtuta Vrinda Vipuneshe
Damodara Rati
Vardhana Veshe
Hari Nishtuta Vrinda Vipineshe.
Damodara Rati Vardhana Veshe Hari Nishtuta Vrinda Vipuneshe
Damodara
Rati Vardhana Veshe Hari Nishtuta Vrinda Vipuneshe Oh Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Vishvanu Dahari Navashashi Leke Lalita Saki Guna Ramita Vishate
Vishavanudari
Navashashi Leke Lalita Saki Guna Ramita Vishate Vishvanu Dahari Navashashi Leke Lalita Saki Guna Ramita Vishate Vishavanudari Navashashi Leke Lalita Saki Guna Ramita Vishate Oh Radhe Jaya Jaya Radhe Jaya Jaya Radhe Jaya Jaya
Radhe Jaya Jaya.
Karanam Karumayi Karanam Varite Sanaka Sanatana Bahani Pracharite
Karuna Kurumayi
Karanam Varite
Sanaka Sanatana Bahani Pracharite.
Karanam Karumayi Karanam Varite Sanaka Sanatana Bahani Pracharite Kurumayi Karanam Varite Sanaka Sanatana Bahani Pracharite Radhe Jaya Jaya Radhe Jaya Jaya Radhe Jaya Jaya
Radhe Jaya Jaya
Gokulacharuni Mandala Mahite
Gokulacharuni Mandala Mahite.
Gokulacharuni Mandala Mahite
Gokulacharuni Mandala Mahite.
Radhe Jaya Jaya
Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava.
Radhe Jaya Jaya
Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava.
Jaya Radha Madhav Radha Madhav Radha Madhav Jaya Shri Radhe
Jaya Radha
Madhav Jaya Radha Madhav
Radha Madhava Jaya Shri Radhe.
Radhe Radhe Radhe
Radhe
Radhe Radhe Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, oh Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, oh Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol,
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol,
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol, Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe,
Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe,
Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe,
Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe,
Jaya Vrishabhanu Nandini Radhe Radhe, Vrishabhanu Nandini Radhe Radhe,
Jaya Vrishabhanu Nandini Radhe Radhe, Vrishabhanu Nandini Radhe Radhe,
Jaya Lalita Vishaka, Jaya Lalita Vishaka, Jaya Lalita Vishaka, Jaya Lalita Vishaka,
Jaya Lalita Vishaka, Jaya Lalita Vishaka, Lalita Vishaka, Jaya Lalita Vishaka,
Jaya Lalita Sati, Jaya Lalita Sati, Jaya Lalita Sati, Jaya Lalita Sati,
Jaya Lalita Saki, Jaya Lalita Saki, Lalita Saki, Jaya Lalita Saki.
Oh Radhe, 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 Jai Radhe,
Radhe, Radhe, Radhe, Radhe, Jai Radhe.
Lalita Saki ki
Jai.
Jai. Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Omasto Tarasara Shishiman Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj ki Jai.
Yeah.
Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Omasto Tarasara Shishiman Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Yeah.
Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Omasto Tarasara Shishiman Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Jagat Guru Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Asto Tarasara Shishiman Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki Jai.
Yeah.
Jai Mahabhagavat Srila Gauri Kishodas Babaji Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Saptam Goswami Srila Sachidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki Jai. Jai Vaishnav Sabhavoma Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan Gaudi Acharya ki Jai. Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur ki Jai. Jai Narottam Srinivas Shyamananda Prabhu Traya ki Jai. Srila Krishnas Kaviraj Goswami ki Jai. Jai Shri Rup Sanatan Shibata Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Vadadasa Raghunath Sat Goswami Prabhu's ki Jai. Jai Swarup Damodar Rai Ramananda Gauda Parsada ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Jai. Prem Sika Hosi Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shamakund Radha Kund Giri Govardhana ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham ki Jai. Navadvip Dham ki Jai. Ganga Jamuna ki Jai. Brihat Mridanga ki Jai. Sankirtan Yagya ki Jai. Nam Bhajan ki Jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Sudarshan Chakra ki Jai. Nrsingadev Bhagavan ki Jai. Lalita Saki Avirbhav ki Jai. Lalita Saki Avirbhav ki Jai. Anantakota Vaishnav Vrinda ki Jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Om Timirandasya Gyananjala Shalakaya Chakshu Unmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadavaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tarabhaktaya Namo Namaha Yam Prabhajantamanapetyam Apeti Krityam Dvaipaino Viraha Katara Ajuhava Putre Titam Mayatayo Tarabo Vinidustam Sarvabhutam Munim Hridin Munatis Ajanatoshmi Bhaktya Vihina Aparada Lakshay Shiptashta Karmadi Tarangamadye Kripa Mayitvam Sharanam Prapana Brinde Namaste Charana Ravindam Bhajami Radham Aravinda Netram Smarami Radham Marurashmitasyam Vadami Radham Karuna Varadram Tato Mamanasti Katina Kapi Tavaivasmi Najivami Tvaivina Iti Vignaya Radhe Tvam Nayamam Charanantikam. I'm first of all offering millions and millions of Dandava pranams unto the lotus feet of my beloved Gurudev. Nitya Leela Pravishta Om Asto Tarasara Shishi Machila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. And the same again unto our beloved Nitya Leela Pravishta Om Asto Tarasara Shishi Machila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. And all our divine Rupanuga Guru Vagya, my Dandavat pranams, and especially my Dandavat pranams to Lalita Saki today, begging for her causeless mercy to descend to enlighten us all towards Seva to directly Sri Radhika. Lalita Saki ki jai. So Lalita Saki, such a exceptional personality in the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. She's considered to be 27 days older than Radhika. But I was reading today by our beloved Pujapad Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Maharaj that this is a material estimation. But in the transcendental world, she's actually 7 or 8 days older. But the principle is that she's Radhika's senior. This is the principle, because for the pastimes to unfold the way they do, Lalita Saki has to be dominant. Her nature, apekshika, adhika, pragalba. Apekshika means relatively great. Radhika is atyantika, adhika. She is in a league of her own, and no one even comes near the greatness of Sri Radhika. So apekshika antika is the description of Lalita Saki, who is relatively great in the sense towards Sri Radhika. Radhika manifests from Krishna's left-hand side to bring all pleasure and joy and bliss to Sri Krishna. So she manifests her Kaya Vyuha in order to do that. And the first manifestation is Lalita Saki. And then from there comes so many other Sakis, the Asta Sakis, Lalita, Vishaka, Champakalata, Chitra, Tungavidya, Sudevi, Rangadevi, Indulekha, etc. All of these come directly, these 8, and then millions and billions of other Sakis manifest. But Lalita Saki is the first, and she has such an exceptional role to play in the divine relationship between Radhika and Madhav or Krishna. And she takes her birth in a place called Kerala, which is in a small village, maybe 8 kilometers away from Varshana. And she stays there as long as Radhika has her early childhood pastimes in Raval, which is near Gokul on the other side of the western bank of the Jamuna. So Radhika, Lalita Saki takes birth on the eastern side of the Jamuna. And then when the residents of Gokul become intimidated by the Keshi demon in particular, then Parjanya, the grandfather of Krishna, Nanda Baba, Upananda, Abhimanyu, Abhinanda, and Nanda and Sunanda, they have meeting and they decide they'll leave Gokul and take up their ancestral home, because previously Parjanya, he's born in Nandagaon. That's their ancestral home. But also, for fear of the Keshi demon is described, he came to Gokul with his 5 sons, Nanda Baba, Upananda, etc. And at that time, Lalita Saki is staying there near the proximity of Varshana. But when Radhika moves to Vrindavan, and then they take all their carts, their chariots, to Varshana, Rishabhana Maharaj, he shifts at the same time as Nanda Baba does. They both leave Gokul together. They're both very good friends. So Gokul and Raval are very close together. They're about 7 or 8 kilometers apart. So Rishabhana Maharaj has his um, place in Raval, and Nanda Baba has his place in Gokul. But then when Krishna's about 3 years old, after he's already killed Putana, Trinavrata, Shakatasura, Vatsasura, pulled down those 2 twin Arjun trees, done so many demons that he's killed, then the Brijbasis think this is too dangerous a place, especially as Keshi demon is still roaming around. So then they decide to move to um, Nandagaon and Varshana, respectively. So when Shri Radhika moves to Varshana with her father, at that time, Lalita Saki, her parents, Saradi Gopi, and um, Vashok, her father, they move to Uchagan. Uchagan is about a mile and a half from Varshana, and it's very, very close to Varshana, basically. But then Lalita, who's Nityasiddha Parikar, of course, will have her um, eternal seva close to Sri Radhika. She will be with Radhika all the time. When they're growing up from about 3 or 4 years old, she's with Radhika completely, all the time. And she has a particular, this quality of apekshika adhika pragalba. This is the description of Lalita Saki's qualities. It's not really anger, which is described as sometimes, but it's more like um, boldness, because she has the ability to control Radhika and control Krishna by the extent of her prem, by the extent of her love for both of them. She will give up her life to avoid any inconvenience for either of the divine couple. She has so much intense rag for prem, for both of these personalities. So because of that prem, she takes this um, intermediate role between the two. Sometimes in their exchanges between Radha and Krishna, once they've reached their age of Kishori, about 15 years old, Radhika, then Lalita, because she's senior, she can coach Radhika in the science of Man. No one else can really go into Man. No one else. Because in the stage of Man, it means you um, are blocking Krishna. None of the other gopis, Chandravali can't go into Man. If Chandravali goes into Man, Krishna won't really care too much about it. He won't put himself out to go and purify or break her Man. So she's not really qualified to go into Man, but only Radhika is. And she's schooled and trained by Lalita Saki, who understands the speciality of this emotional state of Man. Because of Radhika's absolute love for Krishna and Krishna's total, utter dependence on Radhika, Krishna cannot live without Radhika. If Radhika goes into Man, Krishna will become so distraught until that Man is broken. But we should understand the purpose of this. This is creating the dynamic of separation and meeting. When this Man becomes very extreme, then the separation mood in both Radha and Krishna becomes so acute and dramatic and intense, even with Radhika reaching the highest stages actually internally of Mohan and Modan. These are the highest stages of Prem in separation. Then, when they do meet, the union, the sambhog, is so much more extreme and so much more beautiful. So, there are 8 um, types of heroine. There's Abhisarika, that heroine who's making the arrangements to go to the rendezvous. Then there's Vasa Saja, that heroine who goes to the kunj and begins to decorate. And then there's Kandita, that heroine who is preparing everything for the rendezvous. And then there's what's that? There's Utkantika. Utkantika is before that. Is the one after um, uh, Vasa Saja. After that, then comes Utkantika, that very enthusiastic arrangement for the meeting. And then is Kandita. That's when Radhika's preparing the kunj. And then there's Kala Hantarika. This is when Radhika, when Krishna hasn't shown up for the rendezvous, or he's come even very early in the morning with marks of other amorous pastimes on his body. And at this time, Radhika expels him from the kunj. This Kala Hantarika is when Radhika is very angry. But then, when the reconciliation comes, Radhika is called at that time the heroine Swadina Bhartika. This is the topmost heroine's bliss, when the heroine is able to control her beloved, her beloved. This is the topmost. And then after this stage, it's described as Vipralabdha and there's Prasiddha Bhartika. These are the other 2. These make up 8. So of these 8 heroines, there's only 3 of these heroines that are actually, you could consider, happy. The others are not, they're more in a separation mood. So this highest happiness is in Swadina Bhartika. And it's Lalita Saki who trains and schools Radhika in attaining this condition of consciousness of controlling her beloved, because this pleases Krishna more than anything, because he knows that Radhika is most satisfied in that position when she has controlled her lover. When Krishna has put his peacock feather and flute at the lotus feet of Sri Radhika, then that satisfying mood completely of controlling the lover is a very rich bliss that Radhika experiences. And Krishna also appreciates that and understands that and facilitates that. But it's Lalita Saki who's constantly training Radhika to hold that stick of man to train Krishna. There's an example of when um, a messenger comes and tells Radhika, oh, or Lalita Devi comes, what is Krishna doing now? Oh, he's dancing. Oh, where is he? He's dancing in Radhakund. And who is his tutor? Oh, you are Radha. She's seeing your form in every single leaf and every single bush. And he's seeing her form with her teacher's stick of man, that if he makes a wrong step, then this man will manifest. So Krishna has some fear of that man. Krishna is completely fearless of everything except Radhika's man. So this is a great happiness and joy for Krishna. This is the um, dynamic of the pastime, so to speak. So Lalita Saki, she has this incredible relationship with both Krishna and Sri Radhika, where she can scold Krishna in front of Radhika. When Krishna steps forward in Kusum Sarovar, just on the beginning of their meeting, going to Radhakund, then Krishna, sometimes in a very frivolous mood, will come and try and touch Radhika. Lalita Saki immediately will jump in between them. Ha! Don't you touch my Swamini, like this. She's a respectful married woman. You know, you're just a cowherd boy, like this. Krishna loves these types of exchanges. because most of the exchanges in the world are all glorification of Krishna, all Aishwarya. That's not so familiar as the sweet scoldings of the gopis, because many of the gopis, they can also chastise Krishna at different times and circumstances, but they're taking their lead from Lalita Saki. So Lalita Saki is so extraordinarily beautiful, and her specialities and her qualities, and Krishna and Radha love her so dearly, they're happy to come under her control because they know her motivation is only to bring them together in a more joyous union. She will give up millions of her lives to bring Radha and Krishna. And we see particularly in Vidagdha Madhav how Lalita and Vishaka, they are constantly arranging, politicking, all kinds of drama to get Radha and Krishna to meet each other. And Lalita Saki is playing a principal role in this. So she's such an important personality within the realm of Braj, in the relationship between Radha and Krishna. And Vishaka also. Vishaka is born at the same moment as Radhika. So these two in particular, but of the two, Lalita takes the lead role in these pastimes. And she knows that Krishna will listen to her if she chastises Krishna. So it keeps the pastimes in a very wonderful atmosphere because of the strictness of Lalita Saki. And when Radha and Krishna actually meet together, it's described, Lalita Saki will sit right back. She has no more involvement in the relationship at that time. So she's done her seva, so to speak. But this is, and she um, is prominent within all of the pastimes. In Uchagan, her home, where she stays, very close to Uchagan. If you know where Uchagan is, if you know the Varshana Parikrama, you come into Varshana and you walk through maybe 3 or 4 miles. You go through Gaharvan, Manva, and Danvan, and what's it? More Murkuti,
Morkuti,
Murkuti, and then you come up to that
Man Mandir.
temple, and then you go through there to Shriji, and then you come down the steps at the other side of Shriji, and when you come down to the bottom of the steps, you go to the left, and if you go a little way and then go to the right, you come to Pili Puka. Pili Puka is right there, that beautiful pastime place where Radhika tried to wash the turmeric off her hands. And then you take a left on that road for about a mile and a half, and you come to Uchagan. And in Uchagan, there's a very beautiful temple on top of a hill dedicated to Lalita Saki. And we go there and we hear the beautiful katha about Lalita Devi. And just across towards Kamyavan, because actually Uchagan is on the border of Kamyavan. Yashoda Mai, she's from Kamyavan. And there's a road there that goes from Kamyavan straight to Uchagan. You can come up a back way through there. But just on that road, on the way to Kamyavan, it's just a sand track now. There's the beautiful, very sacred place of Sakigiri Parvat, which is the slide where all these sakis would actually play. It's a beautiful flat stone marble. And it's even got the red altar from their feet on there. When you go there, you get a red mark on your head. But at this place, Sakigiri Parvat, was where the other Sakis, including Radhika, they very secretly tied Lalita Saki's cloth to Krishna's pitamba. And Lalita Saki wasn't aware of this. And then Tungavidya, she began singing and clapping Vedic marriage mantras. And everyone started to sing marriage ceremony mantras. And Lalita Saki was looking around and they were all looking at her. So she jumped up and tried to run away. But of course she couldn't because her cloth was tied tightly to Krishna's pitamba. So then this marriage, between Lalita and um, Krishna happened at this place. And Lalita was very embarrassed by this. This is not what Lalita is qualified to have. Sambhog Ichamai. She's one of the three Sakis who are qualified for Sambhog with Krishna. There's the Sakis, the Priya Sakis, and the Priyanam Sakis. Lalita is the head of the Astasakis, the principal eight Sakis. Lalita, Vishaka, Champakalata, Chitra, Tungavidya, Sudevi, Rangadevi, Induleka, Rangadevi, these personalities. And um, Lalita is very um, shy and embarrassed by this tying of the knot there. But there was another pastime also where Lalita got compromised, so to speak, with Krishna, and that's at Lalita Kund, which is near Nandagaon. When you go to Nandagaon at the bottom of the hill, on the same side as Terakadamba, on the same side of the road as Nandagaon, on the other side of Nandagaon Hill, it goes to Kamyavan and Brindakund. But on the side that I'm talking about, it meets the road coming from Nandagaon. And on that, next to Uddhav Keri, just before Uddhav Keri. And right there, there's a beautiful kund called Lalita Kund. And then one day, Lalita Saki, she's making garlands and she's measuring them on her body for Radhika. But she wants to get exactly the right size. But she keeps failing and breaking the garland, throwing it away, and then starting again. And Narad, he comes and he sees what she's doing and he says, "Oh, Lali, what are you doing? Why are you breaking all these garlands?" And she says, "Because I want it to fit Radhika fully." So then um, Narad, he's saying at the same time, he's saying also, we need to test the beautiful swing that's here, that um, uh, Radha and Krishna will swing on. When you put that garland on, then Radha and Krishna will be on the beautiful swing. So why don't you just put this garland on now and come and sit on this swing um, with Krishna, and then we will test the swing for whether it's strong enough to hold Radhika. So Krishna is there in the vicinity. So some Sakis, they go and they request Krishna just to come briefly and test this swing with them. So then Krishna is sitting on the swing with Radhika, and all the Sakis are pushing the swing with Radhika. And then Narad, because he likes to make complication, he goes to Radhika and he's singing about Lalita and Krishna sitting on the swing. Radhika, what is this? How is my Saki sitting with Krishna on the swing? That swing was built for me and Krishna. Why is she sitting on the swing? So she comes and she sees from a distance that Lalita is swinging with Krishna on the swing. And of course, she becomes completely in man and she turns around and leaves. But this pastime is celebrated at this kund called Lalita Kund. So this is the place of Lalita Saki when she is celebrating with Krishna on the swing, that pastime. So she marries Krishna, she's on the swing with Krishna, etc. So she has these pastimes, and it's all to fuel the speciality and sweetness of Radhika's man. This man is something that's really phenomenal to consider because it's described as a mood of vipralamba. When Radhika goes into man, it's like full separation. There's four sorts of separation: Purvarag, Prem Vaititya, Man, and Purvas. These are all four separation moods. So Man falls into these separation moods. And Lalita Saki, she is always schooling Radhika. Don't back down. Hold on to your man. And Radhika, her nature is madhya, which means she's not extreme either way in the pragalva or soft. She's in the middle, madhya. It's called atyantika, adhika, madhya. This is the nature of Radhika. So she often wants to just relinquish her man and come to Krishna. But Lalita, knowing that the ultimate union is going to be so much sweeter if she maintains that man for a little bit longer. Then she, with her glances, she's intimidating Radhika. And Radhika becomes shy of Lalita at that point. But Radhika, her best companion, so to speak, is Lalita Saki. And we see principally this demonstrated in the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Mahaprabhu manifests his pastimes in Puri, particularly in the Gambhira, then who are his principal sons? Mahaprabhu is taking the complete mood of Sri Radhika. He's embraced her mood completely. And he's with, or she's with, her identity is that of Radhika. She's with Swarup Damodar and Rai Ramananda, who are Lalita and Vishaka. And there's a beautiful description in the Madhya Lila 10 of when Swarup Damodar, who is Radhika completely in Gaura Lila.
Lalita,
Oh, what did I say?
Adhika.
Mahaprabhu is Radhika, Swarup Damodar is Lalita, Lalita Saki. And when Swarup Damodar, comes to Puri, then it's described that he's given a very solitary place. His whole mood, he's such a humble personality. He doesn't actually take the sannyas vesh. He doesn't really take the sannyas name. He goes to Varanasi to take it, but in his haste to come to Krishna, he leaves all the ritual and the formality behind. And you get the impression that Swarup Damodar is just absolutely one focused completely on satisfying Mahaprabhu's desires to attain that mood of Sri Radhika. He has no other agenda. So it's described he has a very solitary place Mahaprabhu gives him. And he's so brilliant in so many ways to facilitate Mahaprabhu's pastimes. He will always check all the writings and so on to make sure there's no rasa bas there. So we see the character of Swarup Damodar is loved by everybody. And Lalita Saki is the same. She's loved by all the other Sakis totally, fully. And she's so expert at making flower arrangements. There's beautiful description in this book of so many different um, flower arrangements that she makes. I can find it. So many. The earrings, what are they called? Oh, anyway, you can read it. But in here, there's particularly flower arrangements, and in the crown, she makes um, beautiful crown arrangements and hairband, ear ornaments. There's 5 kinds of earrings that are described here, and Lalita is expert and teaches everyone else exactly how to do this. Beautiful necklace, armlets, waist belt, anklets, bracelets, ornaments for the feet, blouse even, of flowers fully, umbrella, bed, awning. Oh, these other ones, I don't even know what they are. Yes, beautiful coverings. Anyway, she's so brilliant and expert in all the arts, just as her Swamini is, as Sri Radhika is. So these are some of the glories of Lalita Saki. So I wanted to read through the Rupa Goswami's translation, the English translation of this Lalita Astakam. I won't sing it. It's quite. I'm not. I sing the first verse, but the other verses I'm not so familiar with. But I would like to read and together hear the translation for our English listeners. So the first verse: her body is engaged in wiping away glistening drops of perspiration from the lotus feet of Sri Sri Radha Madhav. In superlative, so hard ras. This means the most friendly. So hard means friendly. the most extreme mood of friendly nature, as deep a friendship as is conceivable, she has with both Krishna and Radhika. So deep. She always remains independent. This is a principal point. Because she has her strong independent nature, then she's able to really um, be a powerful influence between both of them. She's not going to be swayed by Krishna's potency, neither is she going to be swayed by Radhika's potency at different times. If she feels that she can actually create a wonderful circumstance to bring them together even closer. So she has her own independent nature. It's very important to appreciate that. And this is described as pragalba. That's how the word pragalba, which is sometimes described as angry, but it's not really angry, it's more like bold. It's very, very strong and forthright because of her independent nature. So try to meditate on this personality of Lalita Saki today. Try to enter into a, and then her kripa, her moods will actually easily come in the heart of the sadhak, especially when we consider Swarup Damodar, like I've described, because his character and nature is very much elucidated within the Chaitanya Charitamrita and the Chaitanya Bhagavan. So we get a real window into Swarup Damodar. I offer pranam unto the audacious. So audacious is strong, bold, pragalba. This is her mood, audacious, Lalita Devi, who is a repository of beauty, sweetness, gravity, and various other charming qualities. Her qualities are so high. Her beautiful face mocks the brilliance of the full moon. Her lovely eyes are ever restless. Describe Radhika's eyes are like a female doe. They're like long, like lotus petals, and they're always moving. Her eyes always restless. So this for Krishna is extremely attractive when her eyes are always filled with so much moods and expressive um, features are manifesting from her eyes. So Lalita's like this also. Her beautiful face mocks the brilliance of the full moon. Her lovely eyes are ever restless, like those of a startled doe. She is renowned for her extraordinary expertise in the art of dressing Srimati Radhika. Krishna is always fascinated by the exquisite dress of Radhika. Every single item of her dress, Srila Krishna's Kaviraj describes in Krishna Bhavana, Krishna Govinda Lilamrita. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also describes in his Krishna Bhavanamrita the beautiful dressing, Shringara of Sri Radhika. And Lalita Saki, she's managing this. Her expertise is there in making it so attractive for Krishna. She is renowned for her extraordinary expertise in the art of dressing Sri Radhika. I offer pranam unto Lalita Devi, who is a repository of charming qualities. Her silk dress is as beautiful as the wonderfully multicolored feathers of an ecstatically dancing peacock. Her body is nicely adorned with various kinds of jewel ornaments, and her body and her bodice and her bodice. Her golden complexion defeats the luster of Gorachan. Gorachan. This is like a yellowish gold color. So even her luster from her body there. I offer pranam unto Lalita Devi, who is a repository of charming qualities. O Kala Kinkini, unchaste one, Radhika. She will chastise Radhika. Call her unchaste one. Kala Kinkini, Kini, Kalan Kini, unchaste one. Brajendranandan is very cunning, so be firm in your contrivances. Don't give in to gentle submission. Radha, listen to these beneficial words. Chandravali is completely submissive. She's called tadatmik with Krishna. Whatever Krishna says, it's very difficult for Krishna to incite any angry response or strong response from Chandravali. She will always just be very submissive. So this Dakshin Bhav is not so attractive to Krishna. Krishna will consort with Chandravali because she's so extremely beautiful. She's the sister of Radhika, cousin sister of Radhika. So she's so extremely beautiful. She's the second principal gopi in all of Braj. Radhika is the first and Chandravali is the second. But we see the example of Rukmini, for example, who is Chandravali in Dwarka. And when Krishna tries to joke with her in a confrontational way, saying, oh, she married the wrong person. She should have married someone who is much more um, submissive to her. But actually, Krishna has so many wives. So Krishna is criticizing himself to Rukmini and saying that actually Rukmini made the wrong decision by marrying Krishna. Maybe Rukmini, if she wants to go and find a more powerful suitor, she's welcome to. And when Rukmini hears this, what does she do? She faints out of anguish and separation. It's described Krishna manifests four arms at that time. With two arms, he picks her up. Another two arms, he straightens her hair, etc. And afterwards, he's saying, but I was just joking with you. When I joked like this with the gopis in Vrindavan, they cut jokes back to me. So I was thinking that you might also do the same. But she's not of that mood at all. So Chandravali is not of that mood. She's completely submissive, Dakshin Bhav. Whereas Radhika, her nature is Bhamya Bhav, unsubmissive. And Krishna is very affectionate to that type of mood. When Krishna finally appears after he's disappeared for so long from the gopis, when they've sung the beautiful Gopi Geet, and then Krishna finally appears and he says this verse, Na Paryeham Niravadya Samyujam. And then it's described that different gopis perform different um, connections with Krishna at that time. Some gopis take his hands, some gopis take his feet, some gopis come very close. But there's a one gopi described, she's standing at a distance, showering angry glances at him when he finally returns. This is Radhika. She doesn't take, it's Chandravali who immediately will take Krishna's hand and start holding it, etc., when Krishna reappears. And another gopi will take his feet. But Radhika, she's standing, at a distance, glowering at him, angry at him. So Krishna is receiving this angry glance from Radhika, and he loves that. This is the dynamic. This excites Krishna because this means Krishna. Why does this make Krishna happy? Because it means Krishna has to do seva to break that man. Seva is the sweetest activity in any form in the spiritual realm. We talked in our Jaiva Dharma, Amal Prem Seva. So only in Seva, Krishna has a real opportunity to satisfy a very special part of himself. So when Radhika is in Man, Krishna has to perform so much heavy Seva to break that Man. Sometimes it's so extreme. Krishna has to dress up as a beautiful singer from the heavenly planets and somehow or other, and understand these pastimes. When Krishna dresses up, who's dressing him? It's Vrinda Devi, who is Yogamaya. Purnamasi is Yogamaya and Vrinda Devi are Yoga. They're both Yogamaya. One is more for the intimate pastimes, Vrinda Devi, and Purnamasi, she manifests all the arrangements in the whole village backdrop of Braj. So when Vrinda Devi dresses Krishna as a woman, she really becomes a woman. Krishna really becomes a woman fully. That's how expert she is at arranging Krishna's disguise. So when Krishna, comes in front of Radhika, Radhika is convinced this is a female. And of course, Krishna is so expert, he can imitate a beautiful female voice. He can imitate even singing. The beautiful book, Prem Samput, where Krishna comes and he tells Radhika, that rascal Krishna, he's been exploiting you, because he wants to hear what is Radhika's mood towards Krishna. Radhika will speak differently when Krishna is not present. So Krishna hears the love locket, it's described, Prem Samput. Samput means love locket. The love locket in Radha's heart opens to Krishna directly when he's disguised as Shama, the Saki coming from the heavenly planets. And Radhika says how beautiful it, even Krishna is making all these accusations about Krishna going with other, saying that her heart is broken when she sees Krishna going with other Sakis, when she knows how much Radhika's love is for Krishna. This Saki Shama is saying how it breaks her heart to see how Krishna is always cheating on her. But Radhika says, no, no. If Krishna wants like this is fine for me. If the particular Sakis, they have anurag for Krishna, then let Krishna satisfy that Saki. Actually, if that Saki has some excuse of being busy or something like that, Radhika is saying, I will go and do her household chores so she can go with Krishna. So there's no envy, there's no jealousy actually, but it appears like that for the Leela, the way it comes out when this Kala, Kala Hantarika, this heroine who gets really angry and expels Krishna from the Kunj. This is so pleasing for Krishna because now Krishna has to perform so much seva to break that man. And Radhika knows that's going to make him completely satisfied. That's why she goes into the man. It's not just, you know, like we have in this material world at all. It's Radhika's every fiber of her body is designed to bring Krishna pleasure. Every atom of her existence is only to bring Krishna pleasure. Would she go into Man if she didn't think it was going to bring Krishna pleasure? She goes into Man because she knows Krishna will have to do so much seva. Sometimes Radhika also goes into Man. There's a beautiful pastime where Radhika dresses up as a sannyasi when Krishna actually becomes in Man, a little bit in Man, nothing like Radhika. And Radhika goes begging at the house of Yasodama in the guise of a sannyasi, her hair all in a top knot, beautifully decorated. Krishna comes to the door to give some dakshin to Radhika, not recognizing her. And then Radhika, she says to Krishna, the same as Krishna has said to Radhika at other times, just give me your man in my plate. And then Krishna recognizes, oh, this is my Radhika. And then their union is very, very sweet. But all of these pastimes are so powerful in the heart region. The heart region is so complex and packed with very, very, very deep, 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 deep emotions, deeper than the ocean emotions. How are those emotions going to rise except by performing pastimes like this of Radhika going into high, high man? And when Krishna's gone, what happens to Radhika? She becomes so unhappy with herself. Oh, why did I expel him? But then if Krishna puts his head around the door again, Radhika will immediately throw him out again. Radhika, when she goes for the meeting, in a greatly excited mood, is Abhisarika. She's the heroine going for the meeting. And sometimes when she sees Krishna already at the Kunj, she just turns around and starts to walk back again, even though she's been wanting to meet him, to make Krishna do the seva, to come and please her and bring her into the Kunj with a great amount of effort. It's beautiful. Where it takes the emotion of these two personalities, it really takes into a very, very significant place of the heart. So Radha and Krishna are only concerned with tasting these highest states of emotion, and they manifest in circumstances like this. And Lalita Saki, she's constantly facilitating this arrangement. She's regularly schooling Radharani into not be Dakshin Bhav, because Krishna's not so attracted to Chandravali. She has that completely submissive mood. It doesn't steal Krishna's heart the way Radhika does. So this is the dynamic of these spiritual relationships. It goes on and on and on forever, actually. um, Upon hearing Brajendranandan speak even a few crafty words to Srimati Radhika, her eyes become red with fury, and she immediately shames him with sarcastic words such as, "You are so truthful, simple hearted, and such a chaste lover." She completely like puts Krishna into another place of feeling submissive. Krishna has to be submissive then. The Gaudiya Vaishnavas always celebrate when Krishna is in the submissive mood and Radhika is in the superior mood. The Gaudiyas, because their nishtha is towards Radhika, they always want Sri Radhika's success. When they have their gambling match, for example, at Radhakund every single day, when Krishna wins, the Sakis and Manjaris are all unhappy. But when Radhika wins, everyone becomes happy. And Krishna's happy at that point also, because they are all happy. But they're all just fully supportive of Radhika. They're not supportive of Krishna. Even though they love Krishna millions and millions of times like that, but they love Radhika also. So it's this speciality of this relationship. She is the resting place of Vatsalya Ras and Gopiraj, Nanda's queen, Sri Yasoda Devi. Yes, when Sri Yashoda Devi meets Lalita, she's so happy to meet all the Sakis. Yashoda Ma is so affectionate to all the Sakis, particularly, of course, Radhika and Lalita Saki. As the instructing guru of all the Sakis, she teaches them the art of friendship, real friendship, because Lalita Saki is completely bold and won't tolerate any pretense anywhere in the relationship. She will pinpoint something and bring out the deepest sweetness of the real relationship, not any sort of covering or anything of that nature. She is the very life of Shrimati Radhika and the younger brother of Baladev. She's the life of the younger brother of is saying again, it's just of Krishna, in other words. Alternatively, Shrimati Radhika and the younger brother of Baladev, Krishna, are her very life. Because Baladev also will have great respect for Lalita Saki. I have a pranam to Lalita Saki, who is a repository of charming qualities. Upon seeing any young maiden anywhere in Braj and discerning that she is inclined towards that her Priya Saki, Rishabhana Nandini, Srimati Radhika, Lalita immediately fulfills all that maiden's internal desires and makes her life successful. Lalita Saki is the head of our gun. She's actually, Radhika is the Uteshwari, but Lalita Saki is the one who's actually orchestrating all of this. And any aspiring Manjari or Saki that wants to come closer to Sri Radhika, particularly the Manjaris. Bhaktivinoda Thakur sings about it. Many of his songs glorifies Lalita Saki. In Jaivadam, he's also glorifying Lalita Saki. She's like the head. She wants to bring any aspiring Manjari towards Radhika very quickly to her seva with Radhika. So we need Radhika's mercy and Kripa today in particular. We can pray for this to put me in your register, Sri Lalita Saki, to bring me quickly to Radhika's seva. She is the foremost among all Priya Sakis of Gokul. I have a pranam to Lalita Devi. One who with a cheerful and pure heart recites these 8 verses in praise of Lalita Devi, which are extremely beautiful due to their description of her charming qualities, is affectionately drawn to Srimati Radhika, the brilliant wish-fulfilling Kripa of the dynasty of Kirti Devi's husband, Sri Rishabhanu Maharaj, and enter her own group of Sakis, who she counts among her very own. So this is, of course, written by Srila Rupa Goswami. Srila Rupa Goswami has written this beautiful Astakam glorifying Lalita Saki. So there are so many pastimes about the distinctions between Radha and Krishna's relationship and how Lalita Saki and Vishaka Devi, they are always very close. They've got their finger on the pulse, so to speak, at every moment of the day. There's not a moment when they're not focused on the arrangements between Radha and Krishna at every moment. And we see like Swarup Damodar and Rai Ramananda, they spend so much time with Mahaprabhu when he's in these ecstasies because they know exactly what is going to nourish these moods of Radhika within Mahaprabhu, because they know Radhika so well. They're Radhika's principal Sakis. Lalita is the principal one. Remember when Krishna takes Radhika away from the Ras Leela pastime, the first pastime when they first meet, they have Ras Leela, and then the gopis, they become somewhat proud because they're not acknowledging Radhika as the queen of the Ras. So Radhika, she leaves knowing that, and then there's a beautiful arrangement. But at one point, when Radha and Krishna are together, Radhika starts to lament. My Sakis are desperately searching for us. They're suffering in great separation. And she's wanting them to catch up. She has so much affection for her Sakis, even though she's privately with Krishna. She still knows that her Sakis want to be with Krishna also. Because she has so much love for Krishna, she can appreciate the Sakis' love for Krishna. She can empathize with their complete um, melting in desire to be with Krishna. So she has the same, uh, she has those feelings for her Sakis because she loves Krishna so much. And she knows that the other Sakis also have affection. Actually, every day, Radhika, she sends the Astasakis, the 8 principal Sakis, she sends Krishna into all of their separate kunjas to have a conjugal pastime with each and every one of them. So those Sakis will accept that sambhog relationship. The Manjaris will never accept that. So these are all different, very sweet pastimes about Lalita Saki. And whenever we're discussing Lalita Saki or any of these pastimes, we want to remember the beautiful backdrop of Vrindavan simultaneously and have an appreciation for that support of all the Vrindavan forest, all the trees and the bushes, etc., that lends its support. Everyone is supporting Radha and Krishna's union and meeting. It's all supporting that. So Lalita, she looks after certain trees in the forest that bear fruits, and Vishaka will look after other trees. They all have their different designated services towards the forest of Braj. So all of these savas are going on. It's a complete immersion in the whole of the Vrindavan mandal by the Sakis and Krishna to facilitate the highest, sweetest, ultimately Madanakya Mahabhav that only in the world Sri Radhika will taste. Not even Lalita Saki will taste that highest relish of Madanakya Mahabhav. Only Radhika. That's why Radhika is called Atyantika Adhika, Madhya. Atyantika means no one else comes even close to Radhika's affection to Krishna. But Lalita is like second, Apekshika Adhika. That's hers. So something. Lalita Saki ki
Jai.
jai, Brajendranandan Sham Sundara ki jai,
Jai.
Shrimati Radharani Brishabhana Nandini Vajeshwari ki jai. Tomorrow, of course, is Radhastami, and this is like a prelude for the um, platform to glorify Sri Radhika tomorrow. So, Vanchakalpatarubhyascha,
Kripa
Kripa
Sindhu.
Sindhavevacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namaha.